Security should always be a business enabler. It should never impede business. In a situation where you put too much security controls in place, it's going to impede the productivity of the app. It's not going to help you achieve much that way. It's not going to help your customers or your users enjoy the experience. Yeah? And without customers, without users, what are you protecting? Nothing. Your company is trying to build something. You can't decide to build something else because you feel like that's better. It's not your choice to make. It's not your decision to make. It's the senior management's decision to make what they want to achieve or what they want. Key components of strategic alignment. So when we are talking about strategic alignment, what are we really saying? Number one, policies, standards, guidelines, baseline. So if you look at this structure, this basically explains strategic alignment. I've made it in the form of a house. The house is your organization, is your company. Yeah. In your organization, you've got your organizational policies and objectives. Then under your organizational policies and objectives, you've got what? Security policies. Under your security policies, you've then got your standards, baselines, and procedure. Now, your standards, baselines, and procedures fall under your security policies. Your security policies can't contradict your organizational policies and objectives. They need to be part of it. They need to be under it. They need to apply or they need to relate to what's your corporate culture, and they also need to be strategically aligned. Which is why your standards, baseline, and procedures are part of your security policies, but the standard you select, the baseline you configure, and the procedures you set need to align with what? The organizational goals and objectives. It can't be outside of it. Your company is trying to build something. You can't decide to build something else because you feel like that's better. It's not your choice to make. It's not your decision to make. It's the senior management's decision to make what they want to achieve or what they want. It's not yours. So what you're doing is what? You're then applying the security controls in such a way that they still apply to the organizational policies and goals. Yeah. And then the security policy aligning with organizational policies and objectives is what? Strategic alignment. Key components of strategic alignment. So when we are talking about strategic alignment, what are we really saying? Number one, resource management. So what do we mean by resource management? If the Prime Minister was here and you put just a security guard, not even a police or a soldier, right? You put just one security guard from your company to guard the door, no other security guard outside, no other security guard at the gate, no patrol to see to make sure the road is clear, and the Prime Minister is here. Is the Prime Minister not going to be at so much risk? Yes. He's going to be at a really high risk, yeah? Because the security control is not matching the value of the asset in this place. But at the same time, if I have just my phone here, or let's say your laptop, just your laptop is here, and then we call the entire security of the organization to come and stand and guard all the doors. And after that, we call the police to say, we have a very important asset in this room. Can you please make sure the road is clear and there are no thieves around? And after that, you call the area patrol to say, can you make sure the entire UK is cool, or the entire Manchester is clean and clear, to make sure this asset in this room is safe right now. In that kind of situation, you've not meticulously used the resources, and therefore you've not managed resources. And therefore that's not strategic alignment, because the value of what you're protecting is really small compared to the security you've put in place. So the security you're putting in place needs to be commensurate with the value of what you are protecting. So the level of security at NSA can't be compared with the level of security at a company like Tesco or a company like Aldi or Lidl, right? Where they need customers that probably have no technical knowledge to access the website and use the application. Or an app developed for pensioners, and then you're building some serious level of security controls. These are people that barely know how to use technology. And then you're setting like 3-factor authentication, facial recognition, thumbprint. You're achieving security, but it's not aligning with the aim and the goal of the product. Yeah, you need to consider, who are the people that will be using this product? Who are the people that will be using this website? Who are the people that will be using this room, this location, before you then put the security controls in place. Yeah, so that's resource management. The security you're putting in place needs to make sense in line with the value of what you're protecting. And we've got performance. Security should always be a business enabler. It should never impede business. Just like I gave the example of the app now, in a situation where you put too much security controls in place, it's going to impede the productivity of the app. It's not going to help you achieve much that way. It's not going to help your customers or your users enjoy the experience. Yeah? And without customers, without users, what are you protecting? Nothing. Yeah, because you have no app, you have no product to protect. So you need the customers to use it so you can have revenue or at least have traction on that product, and then you have something to protect. Security is useless without a product or without customers, right? And customers are what brings revenue. You want to make sure security is not impeding performance. So another example is if I bring you to a new department and you need access to, let's say, Microsoft Teams, but the firewall settings in place is not allowing you use Microsoft Teams, but you need Microsoft Teams for your work. Ideally, I should be able to make an exception for you because you need it for your work. In a situation where there is no exception made or no exceptions can be made, or the architecture has been done in such a way that exceptions can't be made, you can't do your work effectively because of the security in place. So that makes no sense. So it makes no sense because the security in place is impeding productivity. It's stopping the person or the people from doing their jobs effectively. So that is not strategic alignment. You've not aligned security strategically with the company's goals and objectives, because security needs to be a business enabler. So in a situation like that, what should they have done? There should be an architecture in place that allows flexibility, not too much, but in a way that at least if he needs that exception, I can grant him the exception because he genuinely needs it for his work. As long as he can defend the business use case and why he needs it for his job, I should be able to make an exception for him. Some organizations go as far as creating exception codes. So the moment you get the exception code, you just enter that into the application upon request by yourself. You get the access to the application. Value delivery. It needs to give you ROI, return on investment. So you need to have what? Return on investment on your security. What does this mean? So return on investment. If I buy a new security application or a new security tool, I already have 5 security analysts and I'm buying a new security tool to add to my organization. And I realize that without the tool or with the tool, there's no difference. The number of threats I detect is not different. The number of vulnerabilities I detect is not different. The number of attacks have not reduced. In that kind of situation, it's clear that you're not getting a return on investment. But in a situation where, let's say, I buy a new security application or a new security tool, I buy the license, and within 3 months, let's say we normally get 5 attacks in a month, but within 3 months, we've had just one attack, one successful attack. That shows a potential correlation between the new security tool we got and the number or the frequency of attacks. That's one way. You can also check in a different way by looking at it as in 3 months, how many vulnerabilities have we resolved because of this tool? So this tool checked and detected this number of vulnerabilities that 5 people could not have done in 3 months. So that way, I'm getting the value of my money. I'm getting the worth of what I've invested in this application. So that's a way you can also check the return on investment. Of course, you need documentation, you need records to track everything and see how it's going. So that way you can know I'm getting a return on investment.